So I'd like to transition into the importance and the role that forgiveness plays in connection. Humans are we're the only species that do and feel and a lot of things. There's something that we do that perpetuates disconnection is we create stories, we distill feelings into emotions, we create narratives around memories and experiences that we have. And what this does is that it builds and harbors resentment for people, for experiences, for systems. And that's not to excuse the impact and perhaps the hurt and the harm that people, that experiences, that systems have made us feel. Though clinging on to the feelings that were associated with that time, or with those people, with those memories, with those systems, it fuels disconnection. And when we can lean into forgiveness to those that have hurt us, to ourselves for not staying true to the things that lit us up as a child, for taking ourselves and this world a bit too seriously and forgetting to play, for world leaders that seem to be able to have the safety of millions at the press of their fingertips and at the whim of their beliefs, doesn't excuse the behavior, but it liberates us from the contractive emotions and narratives that often perpetuates disconnection. And it's not to say that forgiveness excuses and forgets about these things. No. Forgiveness is the process of moving through those feelings and alchemizing them so that they transmute into something expansive. So moving through contraction into expansion. And I feel that forgiveness, at a collective level, if we're able to forgive ourselves, one another, and forgive, well, nature, but also ourselves for believing that nature ever abandoned us, we'll be able to tip the amount of light and dark in this universe and transmute all of the separation that we've amassed, billions of us, into expansion. And only then will we be able to collectively step into our role as a keystone species on this earth to allow for biodiversity to thrive every time our feet touches the floor too. And again, talking about these things and using language can only point, right? It must be felt. And so I invite us to do a guided forgiveness and loving kindness style meditation. Yeah, so again, feel free to get comfortable. You can take off your shoes. You can sit on the floor or on a chair. So you can lie down if you want, if that feels right. I invite you again to either maintain a soft gaze on the floor or a surface in front of you, or you can close the eyes if that feels right. And again, I invite you to just get a sense, a feeling of the surface that's supporting you. Whether it's the floor or the chair. Just feel how the surface beneath you supports the weight of the body and how the weight of the body is supported by the surface. And I invite you to, again, just gently scan through the body and notice if there's any areas of tension or areas of contraction or holding. Perhaps it's around the abdomen or the lower back. Perhaps it's in the neck or the shoulders or the jaw, in the face. Again, wherever some tension feels, just invite it to soften. I invite you to bring to mind a person who naturally evokes warmth, care, and unconditional love for you. Perhaps it's a friend or a partner, a family member, a mentor. Let yourself just feel their sense of their care. And presence and love. If it feels right, imagine saying to them, may you feel safe to relax into the here and now. Imagine yourself telling them, may you remember that you are inherently worthy of life. May you feel the beauty that moves through you and through all beings. Imagine yourself saying to them, may you rest in unconditional love. And let that love move through you with ease. Imagine them receiving your presence, your beauty, your love, your wishes. Now I invite you to shift the awareness. Imagine this person wishing those same things for you. Without condition, imagine them wishing you, may you feel safe to relax into the here and now. May you remember that you are inherently worthy of life. May you feel the beauty that moves through you and all through beings. May you rest in unconditional love and let that love move through you with ease. And allow yourself to receive those wishes and to feel it. Perhaps it's a feeling of warmth, of tingling, of ease, or perhaps nothing. No strong feelings at all, but just notice that as well. And there's nothing you need to prove or fix and nothing you need to earn. And imagine perhaps a line of people or that you feel warmth and unconditional love and care for. And perhaps at the far beginning of this line are people, our memories, our systems that taught you to contract, to protect, or to hide parts of yourself, to doubt, or to brace. And as you move through this line, one by one person, memory, experience, or system at a time, I invite you, if it feels right, to silently say, I forgive what shaped my contractive patterns. I forgive the destructive consequences of the ways I learned to protect myself. And I'm inviting you not to force anything. You do not need to decide whether the forgiveness is complete or warranted. I just invite you to let the intention be sincere. Perhaps I forgive the moments I moved away from my own truth. And when you reach the end of this line in your own time, perhaps you can take a couple more moments. I invite you to imagine you arriving at yourself. I invite you to stand before yourself with honesty and tenderness. I invite you to tell you, I forgive myself for the times I moved away from what felt true. I forgive myself for forgetting what lights me up and makes me feel connected. I forgive myself for not always knowing how to stay close to what feels most expansive. And I invite you to bring in and imagine your inner child. The part of you that knows, before the world got a bit too loud, what feels alive, intuitive, expansive, true. And you might say to your younger self, I forgive my older self for not always knowing how to stay close to what felt expansive. And connecting. And I invite you to perhaps hold the hand of your inner child and assure them, I choose now to listen more closely to what feels most connecting. I choose to let my inner child and myself play more often. I choose to connect with myself, with others, with nature, simply though with life itself. And I invite you to extend this forgiveness and this love to more people and to relationships, to systems that have caused disconnection, harm, confusion. Whether it's parents or communities, institutions and cultures, or in general the structures that taught us that we had to earn our place. I invite you to say, I forgive the systems and conditions that taught me to contract. I forgive so that I may allow life to move through me. And just notice, perhaps fragmentation was not the final way of being. Perhaps separation was a way for life to see its own beauty more clearly. And maybe the distance allowed us to recognize what we had forgotten. But from this awareness and recognition comes choice. To reconnect. By just being. And so as this practice comes to an end in the next few moments, I invite you to let the forgiveness open into love, unconditional love. I invite you to feel, may I feel safe to relax into the here and now. May I remember that I am inherently worthy of life. May I feel the beauty that moves through me and through all beings. May I rest in unconditional love and let it move through me with ease. And perhaps extending that to your community and to the people around you. May those around me feel safe to relax into the here and now. May they remember that they are inherently worthy of life. May they feel the beauty that moves through them and through all beings, and may they rest in unconditional love and let it move through them with ease. And extending that to communities and to beings perhaps far away. And all in this universe, may all beings feel safe to relax into the here and now. May all beings remember that they are inherently worthy of life. May all beings feel the beauty that moves through life itself. May all beings rest in unconditional love and let it move through them with ease. I invite you to come to the body and to notice what feelings and sensations are arising here and now. How does it feel to have moved through forgiveness and embodied unconditional love and connection? Again, perhaps you can feel it in one part of the body, perhaps in many parts. Perhaps it's a lightness, or a heaviness, a tingling. Perhaps a smile naturally wants to come on the face. Just simply notice what can be felt. And I invite you to notice the weight of the body, resting and being supported by the surface beneath you, and which points of the body make contact with that surface that's supporting you. And may you all remember that the here and now is always here for you. That life inherently moves through you. That the beauty that is the fabric of life emanates from each one of you. And may you rest in a state of unconditional love. I invite you in the next inhales and exhales that you take in the next few moments to perhaps remember that the breath can be a very beautifully simple tool to ground us into the here and now. And to remember that life isn't happening to us, but happening through us. And with every breath that you take, I invite you to feel more and more gently energized and ready to come back to the room around you when it feels right, and to be here and now.